look at?
You can start with 15, line 15, 305. Just read through that and tell me whether you said anywhere there that you have a lot of high-profile examinations. You do this frequently. Motion, please. Why did your husband get the muffins for Amber Heard?
Why are we still talking about the muffins?
For Amber Heard.
Look at people in the background are laughing.
Just like, why are we talking about muffins?
High-profile client, and you were preparing for a very long time, and you asked him to pick up the muffins, correct?
I asked him to pick up the muffins for me, yes.
It just feels like you're reaching.
It's like, oh my God, if we can just get her to admit
She bought the muffins for Amber Heard.
that her husband knew that the muffins were for Amber Heard specifically, then we'll have something.
Then we got you cornered, bitch. We knew you were getting the muffins for Amber Heard. That's what this is all about.
Because then you lied. You lied, that's why.
You're part of the muffin mafia.
Got you. Go to jail.
Would you agree that if you did not find something that would be in favor of Mr. Depp and negative to Ms. Heard, that you wouldn't be an expert in this case?
What?
Essentially, even to court, if you're going to say that Ms. Heard is right and Mr. Depp is wrong, correct?
So as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court as the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be. Now, when I take a case, my retainer agreement is explicit about that, and I discuss that with the attorneys.
I'm asking you a
I
question.
should interrupt and
Try to answer
Okay.
the question. You understand that if you found favorably to Ms. Heard and negatively to Mr. Depp, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be testifying.
What?
No, okay, sorry.
Objection, speculation.
That's not speculation.
No, I'll sustain the objection, yes.
Okay.
Do you have more questions? Do you know what you want to say?
It goes to bias, Your Honor.
I sustain the objection, next question.
All right.
I kind of understand what the lawyer's trying to get at. She said it just now. She's trying to introduce doubt into the validity of having this person even speak at all because she's there biased towards Johnny Depp.
Right, and this was the thing that I was talking about in our last video because I didn't understand exactly who the psychologist was. I was kind of like, oh, was she hired by Johnny Depp in order to find this information about Amber Heard and make her look bad? According to what she said, it's like, no, she's a forensic psychologist.
She's unbiased.
She's just there to uncover facts, as factual as you can be. I feel like anytime a diagnosis has to do with the human mind, you know, it's difficult. Every single person is different. People manifest the symptoms or behaviors in different ways. Just based off of her demeanor, I'm like, I'm inclined to believe this lady.
I saw some other stuff from her, like other clips from her. I didn't watch like the full length videos of her, just like clips here and there. She does come across as quite smart, and she doesn't strike me as someone who's being very biased. Like she lays it all out, where she's coming from and the parameters in which she's working and what therapists should be working in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That all sounds pretty sound to me. At least she sounds eloquent, and it sounds like she's communicating the ideas properly in a way that I can understand and digest.
Sounds very eloquent.
Yeah, that'll make sense. I haven't heard anything from her yet. That makes me go, sus. I would have liked to have seen where that went. This last clip that we just looked at, she was just trying to weed out any possibility of bias. That's it. She just wanted to make that clear. Because it seems like Amber's team is not doing great. They're just trying to find something. Dr. Shannon Curry is just really, really good at. She was getting interrupted and whatnot, and she's all she's trying to do is respond to the question. And I think that's the biggest problem with Amber's team. Every time we see clips, they're constantly interrupting, and I'm like, you're asking a question.
Wait for the bloody answer.
Yeah, what it has to do with is they're trying to avoid information being revealed that will
make her look bad?
Somehow make Amber Heard look worse.
Oh well, it's happening anyway.
Did there come a time when you met directly with Ms. Heard?
Yes, I did. So in conducting my evaluation, I met with Ms. Heard on 2 separate dates, December 10th and December 17th, 2021.
Approximately how much time did you spend with Ms. Heard?
So the evaluation, we spent 12 hours directly with one another.
Okay.
However, there were more hours involved in the evaluation with some breaks. So we spent 7 hours together on the first day.
So as a result of the work that you performed, did you form any opinions with respect to Ms. Heard?
I did.
What were those opinions?
I The results of Ms. Hood's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder.
Are you aware that Mr. Depp is on an audio recording years earlier taunting Amber Heard that she has a borderline personality disorder?
I was made aware of that in this case, yes.
So you did actually look at the audio?
Not necessarily taunting, but I do recall hearing that Mr. Depp had used that phrase.
Would you agree that a disproportionate number of women are tagged with the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder?
No, that's not quite right.
75%?
The way you phrased it is not quite right.
Tell me what's right.
Okay, so there are more women who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder than men. It's more prevalent in women.
And trauma can cause borderline personality disorders, can't it?
No.
Never.
Right now, we know that there are people who have borderline personality disorder who have sustained childhood trauma. There are also people who have borderline personality disorder who have had no childhood trauma. So like most personality disorders, and really like most mental health issues in general, there seems to be both a biological component. In this case, with borderline personality disorder, the research tends to support a genetic component and possibly a neurological component. And then there is also possibly an environmental component triggering those genetic markers.
Would you agree that if you did not find something that would be in favor of Mr. Depp and negative to Ms. Heard, that you wouldn't be an expert in this case? Essentially, in the court, if you're going to say that Ms. Heard is right and Mr. Depp is wrong.
That was a little bit educational.
Yeah, that was very educational.
What was interesting there was Amber Heard's lawyer was trying to nail her down on something, going, "Isn't it possible that this is all because of Johnny Depp?"
Yeah.
Essentially, the
Yeah,
line of questioning.
that's
And
essentially it.
Shannon Curry, Dr. Shannon Curry was like, "Oh no,
No.
sorry,
No.
you're not going to get on that one."
Dr. Curry, you're not board certified, correct?
No, I'm not.
Not in clinical psychology or in forensic psychology, correct?
No, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
But you're not board certified.
No,
Okay. And you also have only been practicing approximately 8 years, is that correct?
that's not correct.
How many years?
I've been licensed for 10 years and I've been practicing for about 15 years.
Okay. Now,
That's a big
you went
difference.
to Mr. Depp's home
There's a lot of
for
training.
dinner and drinks before you were hired as an expert in this case, correct?
That's not quite right. I was interviewed at Mr. Depp's home by his legal team. Dinner was served.
And don't you think that's a little odd that you're getting interviewed by Mr. Depp to decide whether you're going to testify adversely against Amber Heard?
And
He was serving dinner and drinks.
he was not serving dinner and drinks.
Well, it was at his house, at his behest, correct?
Yes, it was at his house.
Okay. And at that time, you not only knew Johnny Depp, you'd seen a number of his TV and movie roles, and you believed he was a good actor, correct?
Not correct. I did not know Johnny Depp. I had
You
seen
knew
several
of
of his movies.
You knew who he was,
Yes,
and you believed he was a good actor.
yes.
I guess she's trying to introduce bias.
Yeah.
You provided an expert designation in this case before ever seeing Amber or having an opportunity to review any documents or records. Isn't that correct?
I did not provide an expert designation. That's an attorney thing. My opinions are contained in my report.
Exhibits patterns that are consistent with co-occurring cluster B personality disorder traits, especially borderline personality disorder. Did I get that right?
I'm reading that here. That is not my opinion.
Okay.
Well,
But
it's a current opinion, but this was not an opinion of mine then. I didn't have any opinions at that time.
it says Dr. Curry will testify, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And this is a signed pleading, correct? On behalf of Mr. Depp.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
You don't understand what a signed pleading is?
No,
Okay. Do you understand that Mr. Depp's counsel prepared this and served it on Ms. Heard's counsel?
I'm not an attorney. I don't understand necessarily all of these procedures.
Now, would you agree that a disproportionate number of women are tagged with a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder?
No, that's not quite right.
75%?
The way you phrased it is not quite right.
Tell me what's right.
Okay, so there are more women who have been, right now, we know that there are people who have borderline childhood trauma, logical component, with respect to whether someone had environmental component triggering those genetic markers.
Now, you've never been asked to testify or serve as an expert with respect to whether some
is habitually reserved and uncommunicative. Obsequious. citizen. So, Sylvester says the most gosh things. So just telling a girl he liked that she was much prettier when she wore makeup. Wow. Socially awkward things. So gosh means socially awkward things. Social. That